Maia Akiva is not a therapist, and the opinions shared in this podcast are hers alone. If you feel like you need help, please go to www.psychologytoday.com/US to find a therapist in your area, or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255.
Hi, and welcome to the podcast Interview with Myself, with me, your host, Maia Akiva. I am a motivational speaker and a motivational entertainer. And if you're not sure what it is, then this podcast is a great way to find out and experience for yourself. In this unique podcast, I will each episode interview my feelings, my emotions, like my fear and my joy, the different parts of myself, like my addiction and my stories, and some very surprising guests that I can't quite tell you about them yet, but if you keep listening and subscribe, you will find out who they are eventually. This podcast was created to give them all the chance to tell their side of the story, and also to get to know myself a little bit better, and sometimes to even learn how to improve my relationship with all of them, especially since all of my therapists, healers, and coaches say I really need to. Thank you for listening to Interview with Myself. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Interview with Myself, with me, Maia Akiva, where I was about to say week, but that is definitely wishful thinking. That will happen one day, I hope. Every episode, I interview my feelings, my emotions, different parts of myself, and some surprise guests. And I just wanted to check in with you, ask you for a few things, do some business cleaning, like get some things out of the way, and then we're going to jump straight into the interview that we have today, which is the interview with my emotional pain. Yes, I know. Let me just first say that I promise you that this is not going to be like the darkest episode on the darkest podcast on iTunes. What I mean is that I'm not only going to have my dark, challenging, hard feelings on. I am going to have some more positive feelings in the future coming up very soon. Like my joy and my happiness and many, many others. Actually, next week we have next week again. Wishful thinking. If I say it enough times, maybe it will happen. But next episode, I'm gonna have a very, very special guest that I'm so excited about. It's actually gonna be like a special extra episode, meaning like it's probably gonna be longer for sure. And I'm so excited to have her. And if you want to know who she is, you have to stay tuned until the end of this episode to find out. And don't fast forward. I know you are. I can hear it. Okay. Yeah. One day I will have on this podcast my laziness, and maybe you can, identify with that interview. Yeah. So what has happened since the last episode? Some really cool things. Maybe because I had my success on. I don't know. She decided to, do her magic and have give me a little bit of some successful things. Okay. So first thing, I got my first supporter, and by supporter I mean money. Yes, I'm sorry. It is. You can support me in many ways, but one of them is by financially supporting this podcast. Thank you, Christine O'Keefe. I so appreciate it. And what you do is you go to the episode webpage, and over there's a place where you can contribute if you like to support this podcast and help me in maybe hiring help so I can post new episodes every week by contribute one time or monthly contributing. I would really appreciate it, and me and my abundance will thank you tremendously. And I will have my abundance on the podcast one day. Maybe I'll do it as a listener challenge. If that many people start supporting me, then I will have my abundance on. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe. And what else? Oh, and I've been doing so please please consider supporting me. Also, I've been doing some interviews on other podcasts and some print and or digital interviews. So please follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I will post all of those interviews as they come along. And just everything that I tell you about, all the links and where to support, where to leave a review on iTunes, where to follow me on social media, what is the webpage for this podcast. It's all on the notes. So if you open the notes, everything is listed there, and all the links are there. So you literally do not have to do anything. Yeah, I know I can hear your laziness screaming at me. You don't have to do anything. You just gotta click on the links. I've done all the work for you. Yeah, that's it. So please look it up, follow me, stay in touch. My feelings, as I said last episode, started their own Instagram feed, Maia Akiva's feeling, and they're gaining some supporters. So thank you to everyone who followed, and I'm gonna start putting content that they give me very, very soon in the next few days. So if you're interested in seeing what my feeling has to post on Instagram, please follow my Instagram feed, or their Instagram feed, Maia Akiva's feeling. Again, in the show notes, the link is there. That's it. Okay, thank you for listening to all my rants and all the announcements. I really appreciate it. On this third episode, I would like to invite you to join one of the feelings that I know I run away from as fast as I can, and I know a lot of people, my emotional pain. I'm very, very lucky in my life to, very grateful to have not experienced a lot of physical pain. I've always been very healthy. It's never been like the struggle for me. But emotional pain, I have definitely endured, actually from day one, and I will tell you about it in a second. And yeah, we'll jump right into it. When I was born, my mom had a pregnancy poisoning, I guess they call it, and I was born really tiny, like 900 gram, which is almost kind of like a coconut. And I was taken to an incubator right away, and I couldn't see my mother, or she couldn't see me actually for 2 months. Sorry. So even before I knew maybe like I could feel emotional pain consciously or knew what it means, my emotional pain was definitely there with me as a tiny baby. I can obviously remember feeling it, but I have done some infancy meditation with some professional therapists and healers, and I've definitely had I could definitely feel or see the pain of being abandoned and forgotten, or at least believing I was abandoned and forgotten, even though it wasn't true. The pain was still real. So that was the beginning of me and my emotional pain's relationship. Later on, most of my childhood, I was actually a very joyful child. And then when I got to middle school, like many kids who get to middle school and start their social life and through high school and adulthood, I definitely rediscovered emotional pain again. I think it was probably always there. I just, there was no need for him at that time. Through all of this time, even until now, until I'm an adult, it's always been there. I've done many healing and work around feeling my emotional pain and not running away from my emotional pain. I communicated with him many times before, and using therapists and journaling and healers and energy work. But this will be the first time that I will talk to him directly, no middleman, and let him talk back and tell me why so much emotional pain. I definitely wanna have the answers for that. I'm really looking forward to what he has to say. My emotional pain is definitely something that leads me in the paths of addiction and depression and many, many other uncomfortable and not good things. So I am really looking forward again to hearing what he has to say. So without further ado, here is my interview with my emotional pain. Well, hi, hello, my emotional pain.
Hello.
Welcome to my podcast, Interview with Myself. You were one, I always say it at the beginning of the podcast. This is the third episode and I've said it every time, so maybe I should stop saying it. But you were definitely one of the guests I was most looking forward to interviewing and not wanting to interview.
Oh, I'd say that hurts my feelings, but I guess I respect that. It's what I do. I'm glad to be here, and I kind of am wondering why you most were looking forward to, least looking forward to interviewing me.
Well, to be honest, look, I've done a lot of healings in my life. I felt a lot of emotional pain, and I know intellectually why you exist. Like, I know why we need to feel emotional pain, but I don't like it. I mean, I don't like feeling pain, and I don't like you, if I may be honest.
Whoa.
Well, okay, so it's not that I don't like you, it's that I don't like how you make me feel. It's really, really hard for me to deal with emotional pain. So I guess I just wanted to, get to know you better, and that's why I have this podcast and kind of find out what can I do with you? Like, who are you? What's going on?
Yeah, no, I get it. And I'm sorry you feel that way, but I enjoy very much being a part of you.
Okay. Well, before we jump into me and you and all of that, why don't you tell us a few things about yourself? I feel like I know you. Like, obviously, I know how you feel and some things about you, but maybe there's some listeners who don't know about you, or maybe they're like chose not to know anything about emotional pains like in their lives.
Okay, well, like you said, I am emotional pain. I was kidding. I just like saying that. People think of me that way. But I'm a feeling, an emotion. Some see us as an experience.
Us?
Yeah. I'm your emotional pain, but there are 7,577,130,400 last time I checked of us. One for every human.
Wow. So there is no person in the world alive today who doesn't have their own emotional pain?
Gosh, I hope not. No. Every person on earth has their own emotional pain.
Wow, must be a good business to be in.
Oh, yeah. We are doing very well.
Then why every person? I mean, can't you have some people who don't have emotional pain? Like, there are feelings that some people feel and some people don't.
Emotional pain is part of the human experience, so every human, has emotional pain.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself. I want to get to know you a little bit better.
Hey, hit me. I'm an open book. Ask away. I've got nothing to hide. I will always tell you the truth. No games.
Okay, I respect that. The first question I always ask when I start the podcast is, why do we experience emotional pain?
Oh, wow. Hit me with an easy one, will you? You want the short answer or the long answer?
Both, of course.
Yeah, of course. Okay, well, the short answer is that you have emotional pain in order to evolve, to heal, to grow, and to change.
I agree with that, but why not evolve, heal, grow, and change, not through pain, but through joy? Or happiness.
Yeah, sure, that's an option, and happens to be that humans don't tend to grow through anything but pain. They've not yet evolved to grow through joy.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's complicated, but I think it's because the feeling of pain makes you want to change, and the feeling of joy makes you want to stay the same. I mean, how often have you said, man, I hope this summer vacation ends right away? Right? I mean, that's a simpler answer.
Okay, then what is the longer answer of why do we experience emotional pain?
All right, well, imagine that I'm physical pain. When you break your leg and you're in so much pain, there's something very wrong with your leg, and then you need to see a doctor and treat it and fix whatever's wrong with you so it'll heal and be the same as before. Well, imagine if you broke your leg and you didn't feel any pain. You just keep going around making your damage even worse until a few days later you notice that your leg is black and blue and swollen and it's got like this kind of nasty smell. Well, by then you've caused so much damage it's a problem, right? Well, there's a reason to have pain.
That was not very pleasant, thank you. But you are talking about physical pain. I understand what you're saying. I get that, but that's different. I understand that when we get hurt, we need to feel pain, so we know something is wrong. But emotional pain is the one, I'm talking about and asking about more, because I really want to know, why do we need to feel emotional pain? That's very, very hard to feel.
It's the same answer, Maya.
How? We are talking about feelings that I have for you for years. I mean, I'm still feeling emotional pain about things that happened to me more than 40 years ago. I don't think they're going to get better, or that they're definitely not going to go away like physical pain. I mean, when I get hurt, I take some medicine and I heal my physical pain. But emotional pain, it still stays with me for years and years and years.
Yeah, that's what you see. Yeah, what I see is different.
How?
I see the big picture. I know the purpose and destiny of what I'm here to do. You don't. I mean, yet.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. I understand the intertwinedness of it all. But for now, let's get back. I would like to get back to emotional pain in general. Tell me, what good do you do? What's your accomplishments, the things that you are proud of?
Ooh, this is my favorite part. We do a lot of good things. We are hard workers. We do our jobs no matter what. We never have had any problems in showing up and doing what we're supposed to do. We are very, very reliable, unlike other feelings, which I will not mention right now. And the most important thing is that we help people. All feelings help people, sure, but we are definitely in the top field of feelings that help people. We change them, move them forward.
I think that, I think that there's a lot of people that would claim that their emotional pain that they feel very, very deeply is actually not helping them. Definitely present company included. That you guys, that the emotional pain that are that like, for example, I feel is actually stopping me from living a great life, from living my best life. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I feel this pain and I don't want to get out of bed, and it's hard, and I definitely have a hard time enjoying my day. So what would you say to that?
I would say that just because someone can't see how feeling emotional pain helps them doesn't mean that it doesn't help them tremendously.
So you're sticking to the fact that you help that you help people tremendously.
I know my job is. I know why I'm doing it. I know it helps. I think I'm a good authority on the subject of how emotional pain is a feeling that helps big time. Even if you or others can't see it, it's been proven by millions of people who are now living a more fulfilled and happy life after healing their emotional pain.
But isn't that thanks to healing more and not thanks to you?
Not thanks to healing and not thanks to you. I mean, okay. No disrespect to healing, but without me, there will be nothing to heal and no chance or change and growth. Everyone will just stay the same from day one.
I see your point, but I mean, it is all, very intertwined, and one leads to another. I see your point. So let me ask you this. I'm really curious. Did you choose to be emotional pain?
No, I mean, I am what I am. Did you choose to be Maya?
No.
Yeah, so like you, I didn't choose to be pain. It's not choice. There's no free will among emotions and feelings to choose who to be, just like humans. We all have a purpose, and we all show up and we do our job.
That is what all the other feelings that I interviews claim.
No, that's true.
And I also must point out that for being emotional pain. You seem to be very calm and under control. You even just smiled and laughed a little. I really would have thought that you would be more like the way I feel you, more intense and loud and maybe even rude and like a pain in the ass.
No, I'm definitely not that. I think emotional pains are just good at our jobs, We're committed, we're hardworking, so it may come across as intense or loud. We're very passionate about what we do and what we need, what we need to get done, what needs to get done, emotional pain-wise, of course. I mean, I think sometimes it rubs people the wrong way, but we just want to be of service, We just want to help.
That is exactly what my failure said, almost word by word.
Of course, But me and failure are not the same at all.
Oh.
We do have similar trends in our work with you, but all I know is he is very committed to his job.
So if not failure, who are your friends? Do you even have friends?
Yeah, of course I do.
My guess would be depression.
Hey! No. I can't be friends with depression. Trust me, I tried. I'm more friends with sadness and anger. I'm really good friends with shame. We spend a lot of time together, working together. Oh, we have a very good relationship.
Really, but not a depression. I don't know. In my experience, pain and depression seems to be like the perfect pairing.
No, not at all. Depression is... I don't want to speak about depression out of turn. Let's just say depression and we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things.
Like, I'm very curious, like what things?
Oh, wow. You really, you give the tough interviews, Maya. Like how to help people, how to change people, how to move people forward, how to do our jobs the best way possible. And I will leave it at that.
Okay, I won't go at it anymore, but I will say that from the other interviews that I had with feelings, it seems that no one liked depression. Failure was definitely not a fan either.
Well, that should tell you something. Any other questions you want to ask me? Let's just... Next question.
Okay, no problem. I understand. But let's go back to shame. You do see eye to eye with shame.
Oh yeah, shame is brilliant. Oh, you should have shame on your podcast. You will not regret it.
That makes me feel very uncomfortable. I will have to think about that. I mean, I probably will at some point, but my shame is definitely not an easy thing for me.
If you enjoy having me on, you will get a huge kick out of shame. Shame is amazing.
Oh, wow. I can see how much you like shame. Unlike me, why do you like shame so much?
We have a lot in common. I mean, a lot. I mean, we understand each other. Shame is unique and sophisticated. I like that. Most feelings, they're not like that. They're simpler. And I don't want to offend, but shame is not simple.
Anyone else any other feelings, anyone else you are close to? Maybe romantically?
Oh, she doesn't just ask the tough questions. She likes to delve in.
This is a deep interview.
Well, okay. I'm sure you know who I have been linked to.
No, I don't know. I don't want to guess. This is not like a gossip show or anything like that.
Oh, this isn't a gossip show, but are you romantically linked to anyone? Okay, that's good.
So, we're going to get an answer?
Oh, here we go. All right. Well, you may have known or heard that me and Love have been in a relationship in the past.
Oh, but you're not in a relationship right now.
No. Not at this moment, but we've been on and off for years. It's complicated.
Oh, yeah. I bet it is.
In some ways we are so compatible. And in other ways, we drive each other insane. All relationships are hard. All I can say is that I care a lot about Love, and that I hope one day we'll be able to figure out our stuff and maybe able to make our relationship work long term. That's all I got.
Okay, I won't push. That's okay.
Thanks.
So let's move on to you and me. So what about the relationship you have with me? Is there anything that you want to say to me that comes up for you when you think about our relationship?
That's a good question. A good thought. Let me see. I guess I would say the harder you fight me, the harder it'll be for you. I can't even start to tell you the length of people will go to avoid us. The stories I've heard, sometimes they are unbelievable. They're even frightening.
Oh, I mean, I feel like maybe you're talking about me since I avoid you and you are definitely my emotional pain.
Yeah, you do all that too, as you know.
Look, I'm really happy to have you come on the podcast. This is the purpose of this podcast. This is why I bring all my feelings so we can talk about it. But I'm really glad I have the opportunity to talk to you and, hear your side of the story and get to know you a bit better. But I would also say that no offense to you, but ever since I can remember having feelings, you have been there. And it's been very, very difficult for me. I mean, I have very, big parts of my life and big times in my life when feeling you, took over my life. And, I've done a lot of healing. That's pretty much what I do a lot during the week. It's almost like a full-time job healing you.
Yeah, no. I get it. I don't think it's the best thing for you to try to avoid me at all costs, but I understand. Don't take it personally, and I must also point out that you are much better at feeling me now than you used to when you were younger.
I have done a lot of healing to heal you and to not run to my addiction when you show up.
You should have her on healing. She kicks ass. She's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would love to. That would be amazing. Are you too close?
Oh yeah, very. She's like a little sister to me.
Really?
Yeah. We're very close. Spend a lot of time together. We work a lot together.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. It's very interesting. All right. Let's get back again to you and me. Mm-hmm. So when did we first meet?
Ooh. I first met you the day you were born. I remember you were so cute, so tiny. I knew right away that my work with you would be very important.
Important to who?
To you.
I want to believe you, but I find it, again, very hard to. I think I definitely have many days when I think my life would be so much easier and nicer and smoother without so much of you. I'm sorry to say that. It's nothing personal. Well, I mean, of course you will disagree, but, that's how I feel.
I'm not as bad as you think I am.
I'm not saying you are bad, okay? I'm just saying that I don't want to feel you all the time.
Remember, it's not a choice.
I really wish it was.
Well, it's not. Look, that's not up to you or me. So why don't we talk about our relationship as a fact? Because it is. Maybe there's some things I can do to help you so it won't feel so hard. Try me.
I really do not see any.
Well, when was the last time you felt me?
Okay. Let's just say, I'll be honest. Let's just say 2019 has been a very emotionally painful year so far.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, of course. I forgot. Then why are you even asking me?
Well, I want to hear about your experience. I only know my experience of being your emotional pain.
Okay, but remember, you asked, so I'm just going to be honest and tell you. I would say that I have felt some of the most intense emotional pain I ever felt. I would say that this year. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I can guess that a few things happened this year. I started freelancing like 2 years ago after working in corporate for like almost 20 years. And as I now really making a living in it and really trying to succeed, and there's no more unemployment, all this emotional pain showed up about not being good enough, not having any value, not being rejected. And also, of course, about going back to dating and about starting this podcast, which turned out to be definitely very triggering and emotionally painful because it's the biggest creative project I've done in a very, very long time, which is why I had failure on as the first episode. So all of these things brought this emotional pain, and it really feels like very old emotional pain.
But you wanted to become a freelancer, and you wanted to date, and you wanted to start this podcast.
Yes, I do want to make a living from doing things I love to do and I'm good at, and I want to be in a relationship, and I love actually creating this podcast.
So these are good things.
Yes and no, like I said before, because it all comes with a lot of emotional pain. Like whenever I do one of those things, like there's a lot of things that come up. I cry a lot.
Okay. And because you're in emotional pain, what do you do?
I do a lot of deep searching and some asking myself, some questions about myself. But mostly what I do those days is I do a lot of healing, a lot.
Bing! And that's why I'm here. To help you and to push you and to do all those things you just said. You see, here's the thing. I come with all those things which are great things that you want. If you don't want to feel me, you just stop doing all those things. And I'm so glad you're doing that instead of the other stuff that you've done in the past. Running away from me and not liking your life at all.
So what you are saying is that it's like a package deal. Like I will feel emotional pain when I do the things that I want to do. And if I don't want to feel emotional pain, I just gotta stop chasing my dreams and doing the things that I want to do.
I like that. Package deal. Yeah. We're like a bargain. More for the price of one. That's your journey regarding to me, The big picture, if you may.
Well, just my luck.
You are lucky. You're choosing to run away less and experience more of what you want.
Even though, if I don't like it? That's a very interesting thought. I will have to, again, sit with that one too. Thank you.
Oh, told you I can be helpful.
And look, and also, I haven't said it before, but I am trying not to run away from you now. I'm really, really trying. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Hey, it's okay. You used to only run away from me for years, and now you also don't. And because of that, you'll grow so much and change so much from it and enjoy life so much more. Trust me, I know.
But let me get back to it again for one second before we move on. Why does it have to be so emotionally painful? Like, I understand we need emotional pain and all of that, but sometimes it's just really, really it's really, really hard to go through the day and to get motivated and to feel joy and to feel any other feeling. Since I have you here, I want to ask you, I want to hear your answer.
Look, Maya, people have the emotional pain they have, and that's just it. Everyone has their own personal journey. I don't make choices to make you feel more pain or less emotional pain. I'm just your pain. You should have your personal journey on this podcast. Oh, personal journey is interesting. I think she will have a much better answer for you than me.
I haven't thought of that. I'm gonna write that one down. Personal journey. Okay, so I get what you're saying, Dad. I get everything you're saying. And yet, the other side of it is that I get so jealous and resentful about all my pain, and why do I have to feel all this deep pain? It doesn't look like other people feel that much emotional pain, and sometimes all I do is I look at Instagram and Facebook and I'm like, wow, nobody feels what I feel.
Yeah. That's very human. Many people live like that. It's not healthy, and I know you don't believe me, but everyone has their own emotional, deep pain. Listen to people, and you'll hear it. You're probably so focused on, that you have the worst pain, that you don't hear others. Just focus on your own healing instead of comparing your emotional pain to other people's and being full of self-pity. By the way, another great future guest for your podcast, Self-Pity. She's hilarious. Oh, full of dry humor. You'll be like, wait, are you serious? No, you were joking. That's great. Look, now you met me. You know who I am. You see, I'm not such a horrible monster. I'm not against you. I'm not here to hurt you or to do anything bad to you. I'm here to help you, to move you forward, to help you grow and change and live a joyful life. I'm one of your tour guides on your emotional journey as a human. Why don't you just spend some time with me? Stop running away. Join me. I know it's very uncomfortable, but I'm your friend and your ally. Spend some time with me. Let me help you. I know what I'm doing. You can trust me.
Well, I did ask. I did ask the question. I'll try. And again, it's not things that it's not like I didn't know any of this before, but and I hear your advice, and what you're saying is actually it's actually makes me feel better, and I have better days when I do follow this advice, and I will definitely try to remember everything you said and everything we talked about, because it did make me think about things a little bit differently, about how I react to my pain with like, oh my god, go away, instead of just like instead of listen to you and knowing that unfortunately for me, my journey is that when I do things that I enjoy and that I want in my life, they come with some emotional pain. So thank you. I will definitely try to remember this conversation.
Well, if you can't remember it, this is a recorded podcast. It's available on iTunes or wherever you download your local podcast.
Thank you. Please subscribe. Yes, it is. Yes, it is a recording podcast.
Just listen to it whenever you want or need to.
All right. Okay. So that was deep and good. Thank you. I appreciate you answering my question. Let's move on to the next part and start wrapping up this episode. I'm going to ask you a list of questions. I ask them at the end of every episode, kind of like to get to know you a little bit more. And are you okay answering them?
Hit me.
Okay. The first question is, where do you live?
In your heart.
What is your age?
Oh, never ask a lady her age. 46.
Yeah, that makes sense. What is your favorite word?
Helping.
What is your least favorite word?
Running away.
What turns you on emotionally?
Ooh, being present.
Yeah, I like that. What turns you off emotionally?
Addiction.
Yeah. What emotion other than yourself would you have liked to be?
Love.
What emotion would you not like to be?
Depression.
What are your hobbies?
Helping others, long walks on the beach, a productive day of work, and I'm thinking about woodworking. Probably not that, though.
What sounds do you like?
Crying.
What sound don't you like?
Silence.
What is your favorite color?
Black.
What is your favorite food?
Ooh, French fries.
Oh,
sometimes a full carton of ice cream is fun too.
Nice. Who is your best friend?
Shame.
Are you single right now or in a relationship? We talked about this before.
I am single, but very open.
So not waiting for love.
Not right now, but ask me tomorrow and the answer may be different.
Okay. What are your likes?
Honesty and yoga.
What are your dislikes?
Checking you out emotionally, dishonestly. Ugh, hugs.
Who do you go for advice?
Shame.
Yes, I do not like that. What is a secret you are willing to share?
That I believe I am just as positive and powerful as healing.
What is the one thing you would change about our relationship?
That you will stop running away from me.
What is the one thing you would have loved me to say to you?
I like you.
What is one advice you want to give to me?
I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend.
All right. Thank you for answering those questions honestly. I feel like I know you a little bit better. Before we finish this interview, another thing I do at the end of the podcast, like one last question, is any words of advice you have for all the people listening to this podcast about having a relationship with their own emotional pain?
Sure. Right. Okay. Well, gosh, having to speak for all of us. Okay. Well, I'm sure it's different for everyone, but in general, I'd say my advice would be not to be afraid of your emotional pain. We're really here to help you, not to hurt you. No matter what you heard or you think you may know, try to spend some time with your emotional pain. Get to know us. Ask some questions. Tell us about yourself. You'll be surprised at how much we can help you. It's what we do. It's the only thing we know how to do. We are on the way to your dreams and desires.
Well, with those ending words, thank you for being my guest today. It was really great to have you and to meet you. And I will definitely work on taking your advice and stop running away from you instinctively.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really glad to finally get to ask you what's going on between us and show you I'm not that bad a guy. And, I'm really excited you're going to stop running away from me because I'll always catch you, but it is exhausting.
Well, thank you. I promise I will try very hard to like you.
And I promise I'll always like you.
Thank you. Welcome back. This was my interview with my emotional pain. I hope you enjoyed it or got some things out of it, or it make you think or realize some things. I know for me it was a very interesting realization that took away a lot of my resentment toward my emotional pain. Like we talked to in the episode, that I guess part of my journey is that when I step into my power, into my dreams, into my desires, it comes with emotional pain. It's just the way it is. I don't like it, but what can I do? I don't want to not step into those things. So that was an interesting realization for me. So thank you, emotional pain. If you are interested in bringing me to speak, I'm a motivational speaker and motivational workshops, interested to bring me to speak to your group, to do a workshop or a training to your group on how to tap into your feelings so you can work through your challenges and grow and become a better you, just like I do in this podcast. Please email me, Maia@maiaakiva.com, or find me at maiaakiva.com. Again, all the links are in the notes, like I said in the beginning. And please, if you are listening for the first time, please subscribe so you can find out where the other episodes are coming. And like I asked before, if you have the time and you like this podcast, please, if you can, leave a review. It will be really important. And or considering supporting this podcast by making a monthly contribution. It'd be very, very helpful, and maybe I can hire some people to help me. And I would also like to hear from you. You have my email if you have questions or ideas or comments, or if you is there any specific feeling you would really like me to talk to, please let me know. I would like to thank Hunter Steibel and everyone again at Epiphany Space, the most amazing place in Los Angeles, and of course my emotional pain for coming out to this podcast and being interviewed, even though he knows our relationship is not as easy. Music for this episode is by Mac Miller and Meredith Miller Higgins. As promised, drum roll. Join me next episode as I interview. Are you guys ready? I'm so excited. My heart, yes, ladies and gentlemen, my heart is going to be coming and to be interviewed on this podcast in a very, very extended special episode. I can't wait. I love her. It's she's my safe place. She's the place that I feel most happy about. And we'll talk about it next episode. So please, again, subscribe so you know when the episode drops. It's not going to be next week, but it will be very, very soon. And thank you so much for listening and supporting this podcast and this work that I do, that I put out in the world. And don't forget to have a relationship with yourself, and most importantly, to have a relationship with your feelings. Bye. This was my interview with my emotional pain. I hope you enjoyed it or got some things out of it, or it make you think or realize some things. I know for me it was a very interesting realization that took away a lot of my resentment toward my emotional pain. Like we talked to in the episode, that I guess part of my journey is that when I step into my power, into my dreams, into my desires, it comes with emotional pain. It's just the way it is. I don't like it, but what can I do? I don't want to not step into those things. So that was an interesting realization for me. So thank you, emotional pain. If you are interested in bringing me to speak, I'm a motivational speaker and motivational workshops. Interested to bring me to speak to your group, to do a workshop or a training to your group on how to tap into your feelings so you can work through your challenges and grow and become a better you, just like I do in this podcast. Please email me, Maia@maiaakiva.com, or find me at maiaakiva.com. Again, all the links are in the notes, like I said in the beginning. And please, if you are listening for the first time, please subscribe so you can find out where the other episodes are coming. And like I asked before, if you have the time and you like this podcast, please, if you can, leave a review. It will be really important. And or considering supporting this podcast by making a monthly contribution. It'd be very, very helpful, and maybe I can hire some people to help me. And I would also like to hear from you. You have my email if you have questions or ideas or comments, or if you is there any specific feeling you would really like me to talk to, please let me know. I would like to thank Hunter Steibel and everyone again at Epiphany Space, the most amazing place in Los Angeles. And of course, my emotional pain for coming out to this podcast and being interviewed, even though he knows our relationship is not as easy. Music for this episode is by Mac Miller and Meredith Miller Higgins. As promised, drum roll. Join me next episode as I interview. Are you guys ready? I'm so excited. My heart, yes, ladies and gentlemen, my heart is going to be coming and to be interviewed on this podcast in a very, very extended special episode. I can't wait. I love her. It's she's my safe space, my safe place. She's the place that I feel most happy about. And we'll talk about it next episode. So please, again, subscribe so you know when the episode drops. It's not going to be next week, but it will be very, very soon. And thank you so much for listening and supporting this podcast and this work that I do, that I put out in the world. And don't forget to have a relationship with yourself, and most importantly, to have a relationship with your feelings. Bye.
Sometimes you're lost in your place.